The Evil of All Beings Chapter 9 Secrets of Human Beings, the expression, but the words have been trembling, joking, such a genius, enough to change the strength of a school. The remaining 4 people are shocked, speechless. Their master strength is how they naturally know. The master said so, surely, there will be no mistake, he. I can also bright Scientia school. If with ordinary people generally do not think of progress, how can protect the master and you sisters? Being so praised, Yun Fei Chen touched his head, and giggled. After all, just a teenage child, the nose is almost going to grow out, you little monkey, smooth tongue, although it is a child, but after all is a man, Flying Chen said. Ruaipoem suddenly had the idea of being protected by him, but after returning to God cannot help shaking his head, and smiling bitterly. See the master smile. 4 people are naturally the same mood, this tossing and turning. It is already night, the cultivation of this Scientia is determined, but Fei Chen does not feel sleepy, but more and more energetic, always like an inexplicable force wandering around the body, as if there are 2 kinds of power, one is strength, the other is magic. I think this God does not eat, or drink, said this is, exercise full energy to the morning. Think of Lin Ruiyu, that broken sword. Lun Fei Chen activity, body and bones stood up. After all, always practice magic. The body is not active, open is not good. Out of the door, more than a dozen sisters outside the door got up early to build the body training. Building the body is a kind of physical training. The body is not strong, cannot accommodate the magic, let alone enter the induction stage. Building the body is also a stage to learn the use of weapons, so the impact is quite great. Every paragraph is the need to step by step. Half of the clever Yun Fei Chen, because of his years of hunting, martial arts, forging, from the foundation stage directly into the induction period, but in the end, he also felt a little slow. The forging room is also convenient. Flying Chen opened the door to go in. He was shocked to open his mouth wide. In addition to the flint, a superior red-black stone, the scale of its instruments than he used before do not know how much stronger. Not him a person can use, only the bellow is half high. This way back to pull the wind will naturally be large, and there are 2 connected furnaces, a small, a large. Think of the teacher. Zhu Ruking is also a good forging tool. And this special forging tool, although in theory even fairy can be forged, but this also needs to cooperate with the magic quenching. For him, this half a forging spell do not know, just like a piece of pork. In front of the general, Fei Chen helpless, had to run to find Ruai poetry to return to their own set of simple tools to deal with. Is it a monkey, you want to forge the sorcerer? Are the things in the forge too old to be used? Ruai poetry in the bedroom meditation. See Yunchen, smile on his face. This is the future of his own school, but there is a need. Do not support that can be a fool. No, it is not suitable for the use of apprentices. Apprentices do not understand the chain itself, do not understand the least. In the past, he used to play firewood and kitchen knives in his hometown, and he was armed with a black gourd found in the mountains. Flying Chen answered, take out the gourd handed out. For the black gourd, this magic weapon is not a magic weapon. He did not want to have more to hide, and Ruaipoem temperament easygoing. If she can penetrate this gourd, it is a help to him. When Ruyusha saw that his precious life was also taken out, and he did not conceal it, but he was a trustworthy person, he remembered several things, stood up and took out the book from his treasure box, and smiled. You are a good situation. This dark gourd for the teacher do not know what to do, you and receive, later may be able to understand, also do not know. By the way, the master left a book of the chain, is helpful to you, for the teacher does not have this talent, so a waste of things, this will give you, and this Kainkan bag, take it together, the secret of the 9 yin. Looking at this book, Yun Fei Chen 2 eyes lit up. Since the name is so atmospheric, it is naturally a treasure. Their lack is this kind of secret book. Ruyusha took a cup of tea, drank a little eloquence and slowly said, yes, the word 9 yin people is also a story of the past. This book is an ancient evil Taoist people created, although this person lived for hundreds of years, but it is just to cultivate God, did not cultivate long life, but it is the world, killing treasure, no evil, so it is also notorious, so mixed with a 9 yin demon name, he kills and overtakes the treasure very much, this treasure a lot, slowly realized a set of good at solving 100 spells, the integration of the world magic weapon sacrifice practice cracked the method, the end is miraculous, and also known as no treasure not broken, nothing cannot fall, nothing cannot be created, but the life of people is also limited. 9 Yin Devil after death, leaving the treasure formula, unexpectedly wandering in the world, it made the world not small waves, but the master killed many people, who competed for the book's 2 paths of righteousness and evil. Therefore, it was originally an evil book, but master said that sorcery used in the right way is a righteous spell, and the key is whether the state of mind is good or bad. Master is an ancient and knowledgeable person with great powers and wisdom, and as a teacher, he thinks that he cannot practice and control such deviant dafer, so I leave it to you, and hope that you can use it for the right way. Yes, Master, your disciples will surely honor my Xianxia men, and use this book for the right path. No is the treasure of the chain treasure, it is his interest. Flying churn is a great gift to Ruayu poetry, the heart of this everywhere abnormal, also positive and evil master is more attention on. See flying out of the door, Ruayu poetry silent half ring, from the self said, Master, since you travel the world, I sent for a few years of dismal business, was said to be a third-rate school. The disciple is very worried about this, so that saw a good child so entrusted to the future, this coddle this disciple. Do you know if I am doing the right thing? But did not think that the words had just finished. Yun Fei Chen went and returned, and asked, Master, how to use this Kainkan bag. Ruayu poetry thought that he was found soloism, a red face, but see each other look as usual, calm in the heart, said, You this little monkey, come in, why not knock on the door? Forget it, you do this spontaneous, I also lazy to say you, this spell is the universe opens, the heart can silently read. Fei Chen sly smile, said, Oh, Fei Chen no, thank the master doting, master can rest assured in the future, I have learned Dafer, will protect you, never let others bully you, you naughty monkey. Look, I don't. Ruayu poem face brush red up, dark regret, he cannot change the habit of thinking aloud, just words were faken to listen to, did not wait for each other to finish. Yun Fei Chen will run out, to the forging room and go, leaving Ruayu poetry, a person there to reflect on their own gains and losses. She is a sentimental person, for many things will do to think about the gains and losses, so people also appear some melancholy and indecision. Looking at the back of Yun Feiken running fast, Ryusha remembered his teacher, suddenly in a trance, such as a dream-talking general way. The evil that disturbs all beings. Chapter 10 The morning of heaven, the forging room at Xianxia Peak. After countless times in front of the use, Flying Churn generally know the use of dark gourd effect. When the golden liquid was just poured on, it was the softest time of the weapon, and after half a minute it would slowly stiffen, so he could rely on the fire of the ordinary stove to repair the extremely hard metal, which is the same as the hot iron. But if it is changed into the fairy, it may need the set of tools, left by the master to do it. The temperature of the fire and its own strength are insufficient, the golden liquid's ability to recombine is futile. He also understood that he could not yet use the master's set of refining tools, so he honestly took out his own set of junk, from the Kainkan's bag, tinkling and clanging for a whole day, relying on the effect of the artifact of the black gourd. It was hard to connect the broken sword. After repairing the weapon, he went back to his room, studying 9 Inhuman Mojin and practicing the mind. Fa has become the top priority today, and he still knows that if you want to do something good, you must first sharpen your tools. Since he has settled down, when it comes to food, the disciples of the whole Xianxia school do not eat much, usually only have one meal for dinner, and most of the day is cultivation time. Since Yun Feiken has directly entered the induction period, he does not need to build his body to cultivate like other disciples, but arranges his own time like the disciples of the general induction period. The next day soon passed, the morning of the celestial clouds, the mist spray, white clouds permeate the whole mountain, the air is like a river torrent, let people live like falling fairy dust, wonderful. Just after the hour, flying in the room then came laughter. He lived in the Zen room is very simple arrangement, a stone bed, a table, 2 chairs. The stone bed is not big, only one person, using a blue floral cushion, hanging on the pillow a large character, writing a large Tao word. Obviously this Xianxia school belongs to the Taoist school. Is it really fixed? Wow, it's so beautiful, it's gone up a notch. Lin Ruayu finger tap played the sword body, only heard an urn ringing, then know the sword grade has changed. This happy, holding the love sword, infatuated. After all, a good sword can be worth several times of its own. Cultivation is also where the body to save life, not to mention ordinary disciples, is to change to a generation of masters, is also precious if life. So when the two sides fight, in the face of a grade higher than their own hand sword, if not unable to resist, easily not two swords intersect. This is the so-called, the sword in the man in the sword broken people die. Without the sword to stimulate the protective gang cover, you have 2 or 3 lives, and you have to play in an instant. Of course, a good sword for the person of cultivation, but also a symbol of identity and strength. But I have helped my sister repair it. How can my sister praise the weapon and ignore me? Looking at the beautiful face of Lin, Ryu gently wipe his love sword, fly the evil heart up, in the side his sly laugh, ha ha, sister did forget for a moment, what reward does the little brother want? Lin Ryu disapprovingly asked, reward naturally want, money baby, what I do not need, but let my brother eye fragrant on the line, hey hey, flying churn posed to rush, a hungry look, you this little fart child, not old, but lust, no painstaking cultivation of the appearance, you want this, I can go to tell the master to go. Lin Ryu shook his head, said very helpless, I spent into the next quarter moon, smile showed, the color of the city to see flying churn is hungry. Lin Ryu don't think plan, but is such a long touch between flying churn already a bear hug, will throw her on the bed. Flying churn with a smile, see Lin Ryu became a lamb to be slaughtered. 2 eyes have been incredible for a big, he is obviously very satisfied with this expression, licked his lips, then to each other that blow, can break the beauty of the face hard kiss. Lin Ryu eyes tightly closed, face brush will be red, jowl if dripping blood, or virgin where she was made out of this, although the present is still a teenager, but the height is already higher than himself, looks so handsome and extraordinary people see people love, she will panic. Even if there are thousands of martial arts, at the moment is also trance, involuntarily, you, little shrew, Lin Ryu speaks, flying churn has affixed her little tongue, almost instinctive, 2 people hug each other, be each other suck tongue, Lin Ryu arrived in the chest of the 2 hands, cannot control the beginning to tremble, gradually weak, when she was held by the other side, the small face, the skin, the instant flush, the body and bones are like being used by people to give electricity again, the limbs are numb, lost the original remaining trace of resistance, also do not know is the joy in the heart is difficult to suppress, or the kind of sensitive cannot resist. Lin Ryu could not help but moan, but it is this moan sigh, suddenly, her brain felt a blank, and then the body instinct a tremor, she tasted the most wonderful taste of life, ho, Lin Ryu shrank in his arms into a group, breathing heavily, she found that the body has been unable to move, the whole body is like being evacuated all of a sudden, just want to lie so, also can not control the flying churn that continue to ravage her chest raised hand, she clearly heard the voices of the girls outside the door, but no matter how she wanted to stay awake, struggling but still addicted to infinite pleasure, the hand touched the mat with a trace of spring water, Fei Churn mouth hook, thoughtful smile, hee, sister, you made my bed wet. Flying churn bite Lin Ryu's ear, gently said such a word obviously with the nature of molest, well, brother, you are bad, bully me, I'll tell the master to go, pressed on the body of the little man called into the sister, Lin Ryu felt a sense of excitement, but the sense of shame or accounted for the first, the sensitive body came back, I saw her miso sit up, a push Fei Churn, a few steps backward, ran out of the room, oh, sister, if you want to escape, can I stop you? You need to run so fast, Flying Churn scratched his head, a meaningful expression, the words are so, but in his heart changed to another sentence, alas, under one roof, ran the first day, the evil of all beings chapter 11th hate again. Darkness, after the darkness is still that July, the warm wind blowing the sea, rolling up waves, it is a kilometer above the sky, or the 2 people, they face each other suspended, the middle-aged Taoist in Kigi held a purple sword in his hand, exudes an inexplicably angry air, the sword body is transparent deep purple, as if stained with too much blood, the color formed after coagulation, the sword is 4 feet 4 inches long, only 2 inches wide, its sword body is covered with various inscriptions are ancient times seal characters, the painting is fierce dead hell, lifelike, This sword is long and thin, most suitable for killing. Sword name, Jade Dynasty. The confrontation with the Tao is a young man, dressed in white clothes, foot white cloth, black line 10 square shoes, long hair up, casually on the shoulders, such as the dust between heaven. He looks handsome, eyebrows such as mountains, but at this time his heart is far from its face, so detached from the world, because he looked at the middle-aged. The eyes have a sad, dead grief. The sword he also held in his hand, the body of the sword is white with snow, and the blade has countless gaps, just like his face at this moment, broken heart and despair. His sword is 3 feet 3 inches, 3 inches wide, which is the standard style of the general protective sword, but compared with the sword on the hand of the middle-aged Taoist people on the opposite side, it appears to be a little lower than a few grades. Why kill the mother? Why you? Why? The sword in the young man's hand was raised flat, pointing at the middle-aged Taoist in front of him, and all the unbelief in his eyes turned into an obsession, burning violently, as if no matter who was standing in front of him, the sword in his hand would move forward inwardly. The sword in the hands of the Taoist man shook at an invisible angle, just like his heart at this moment. It was silent, but it was clear that when he looked at the young man in front of him, there was clearly a kind look in the eyes. Half ring, the talented person said, Chern, you are still young. Everything is too simplistic. Because of this, many things are not as you see, as you think. Look back. I can let go of the past. Do not cling to any more. Will be a lifetime of death. Am I stubborn? All I know is that you killed mother. He shook his head, his hand shaking with the sword, as if he were back on the bleakest night of his life, the night that Jade Dynasty had pierced his mother's body, and he had vowed to kill anyone in front of him. Well, your mother has acted boldly and recklessly, without regard for the reputation of the whole clan for thousands of years. How can she face all her peers without dying? Come back with me, and don't linger here any longer. Tsingyi Tao people turned back and said, do not want to face the sword pointing at their own, do not know is guilty, or disdain. Ha ha, pester. This is the reason. She's your wife. She's my mother. If you talk like that, you will kill him. The young man smiled sadly, and the tears in his eyes could no longer be controlled. He saw his right hand holding the sword steadily, and only for an instant, the pale long sword shone brightly, and the young man's body turned into a white fei hong, which was like a mad tiger pounced on the middle-aged Taoist man in front of him. Son, are you going to fight me as your mother did? Tao man frowned tightly, the anger in his heart like the flood that burst the dike came to the sky, facing the shadow of the sword rushing in front of him. The death of the immortal sword in his hand shook gently, like a bloodthirsty beast, softly singing, thousands of purple light into endless sword shadow. Just a blink of an eye swallowed up the white light, without the slightest suspense. His immortal sword easily smashed into the proud snow-long sword, into his son's chest, fast like thunder. On the vast expanse of the sky, the blood is spilled like a line, and the young man is like a kite that broke the line, falling from a kilometer high into the sea. Chern, what are you suffering? Is there anyone alive under Jade Dynasty? The middle-aged Taoist sighed, but there was not much nostalgia, turned and flew away. The darkness, when it stops. Brother. Senior fellow. What's wrong with you? Wake up. Little brother, it's sister coming, don't be afraid, wake up. Ah. Ho ho ho. Suddenly, Yun Fei Chern woke up from the dream. He covered his chest, gasping for breath, as if the sword was stabbed into his own chest, and at this moment, he did not know why, his eyebrows twisted into a ball. Tears Ying ran. Pan Silk desolate, what's the matter with you? Did you have a bad dream? Ha ha, no, I had a good dream. Didn't you see me happy to cry like this? Flying Chern Shuyan smiled, wiped the tears, looked to the side. The two women in front of them, it is Lin Ruiyu and Chang Ruiting. Nonsense, just now I saw you have a very sad and painful expression. Lin Ruiyu nature is not believe each other's words, the heart is already a secret path. This little brother, every time is not serious, slippery. I think with sister like month, you must be having a nightmare. If you can say it, tell Sister Chang. Let Sister Chang enlighten you, Chang Ruiting said with a smile. Yes, Sister Chang, I am so miserable now, I want to hug. Fei Chern said quickly. Will Chang Ruiting hug? Face don't red heart don't jump to her you, Chang Ruiting sigh, a sigh, very helpless. 2 years, she has long been accustomed to this little brother hello special way. Usually she is rarely on the peak often go out, she is also the most miss, and indulge the only little brother in this school. Sister often came back for so long, this time to let fly more hugs, or fly churn, and I do not know how long to wait to see sister often. This sister back, is there anything important to report with the master? Yeah, I see. Are there any more swords around? Or has another Sanxian died and left some treasure behind? Hold for a long time, see each other, let him hold. He also lost interest, after finishing the clothes on the body, to ask. Sanxian is not good at making friends, no door, no school of fairy people. Xianxia school is poor. Picking up some of the Immortal's weapons and calligraphy is normal. After all, picking up junk also picked up a fortune, but this kind of thing is not simple, usually have to fight for a bloody head, and even some Sanxian successors just inherited their master's mantle. Out of the cave was killed is expected. This is the sorrow of the small door. Chang writing nodded and said, well, little master brother is clever, guess well. These days master sister received a report from a disciple in the outer gate, the state of Qin next to the state of Zhou Sanxian Zun Landau. In the last month, he should have a meridian chasing sword, is a very good fairy weapon. Heard that the meteorite fell in the Cloud Mountain. The master said to let several elder sisters take you to fetch. If you find the fairy weapon you first use. After all, you are about to enter the fetal period, and you can't do without a handy weapon. Chasing the sun sword at noon. This is a piece of fairy, our little brother this, but blessed that Zun Landau people also heard that there is a Yuan baby period repair for the San repair. Master, isn't she going? No wonder Lin Ruiyu has this question. After all, every time once there is the news of fairy, Ruiyu poetry will take them several disciples to find. Let go of Flying Churn himself this time. She is naturally a little strange. The master said that the little brother could do it well by himself. Chang writing replied, Fei Churn listen, is also a little surprised. Without this beautiful master accompanied, a lot less fun. But it is not to let themselves go alone. This time can also take Lin, Xi, Fang, Chang, 4 sisters. In the way is also free and happy. This care, then silly smile. Hey, the master looked up to me. I was fast moving to repair, which can do anything. These several sisters have to protect me. Lin Ruiyu and Chagriting look at each other, are shaking their heads. I do not know how to be taken advantage of this journey. Looking at the 2 senior sisters to leave. Yun Fei Churn cover the pain of the heart. Pat, a few times just feel good. This is not the first time to dream of this dream. Every time so wake up. The strong diffuse killing are a few want to suppress. Am I the man in white? Am I the old man? Oh, how is this possible? I remember things from a young age clearly. 3 years old, 5 years old touched the next door we daughter. 7 years old hit the surrounding baby crawling all over the ground, but their own practice. But why can repeatedly break the difficulties that ordinary people are difficult to overcome, often like a sense of acquaintance. Fei Churn meditations, the past 2 years, he repair for abnormal growth, but let the master, the sisters are happy, but who understands his own worries and doubts. Cannot understand the strange things will no longer indulge in. Grooming again. Yun Fei Churn came to the Ruiyu poem room, asked early, just about to enter the door. Ruyushu, who was closing her eyes for cultivation, already knew that Fei Churn had come, and said, Fei Churn, you have come. Master, before you and the 4 senior sisters go to look for the sword of chasing the sun at noon, say hello to the master, and then we are going to leave. Fei Churn eyes in Ruiyu poem face body around, said words are respectful. Well, this matter sooner rather than later. For a long time, there are many variables. You will go down the mountain with a few sisters, and, before you find the afternoon chasing the sun sword, the white spirit on the stage you first use it. You are stubborn. This is the first time you have gone down the mountain in 2 years. Do not make more trouble. Open your eyes, see flying thief Yo-Yo, look at yourself. Ruiyu poem a face of helplessness. Do not know what this bad disciple will do down the mountain this time. That white spirit is not my make. Girls' home stuff. I still use my own firewood knife, that is easy to use tight. Flying Churn answered, but did not want to use this tall white spirit. Everything is unexpected. Ryushu has experienced more, and has been used too, but still can not think of a good tool he would not use. He asked, although the firewood knife in your hand is sharp, but it is forged with vanadium iron, cannot integrate through the magic. If there is no tool to strengthen the magic, how can you bend the sword to fly? Hey hey, this master naturally, don't worry, flying Chern means a lot, which will be stumped because of it. Fei Chern's strange smile, then bid farewell to Ruai. The Evil of All Beings Chapter 12, Sunset. The sky sunset reflected the ground a golden, as if waving. Thousands of miles are full of golden light, the early summer wind warm, blowing through the poplar forest on the precipice, rolled up the sky white catkins, beautiful and peaceful. Brother, why are you touching me? If you do that again, I'll send you to Sister Xi. Oh, Chagruting face red, was Cloud Faken gently hugged, her pink flying sword pink on the moment carrying each other, rather difficult. Hands also pinch the sword. No time to take into account the claws of each other, and Lin Ruiyu, Xi Mangxing, Fang Jitsi. Three people have flown forward for a long time. Yun Fei Chern hug people's technique is already very skilled. Chagruting a white clothing, inside only wearing a thin belly, gently embrace. Let her body soft down, almost nestled in the flying Chern body, mouth also not aware of or a sound. Hee, sister. You better take good care of your flying sword, in case it falls to the ground is not fun, and the master has not given me any sorcerer. Before the noon chase young sword, you can protect Fei Chern is. Yun Fei Chern showed his world unparalleled brazen, laughing in not to rely on his body. Chang Ruiting ear blowing a spooky breath. Fei Chern has been 7 feet tall in the past 2 years. The face has become more beautiful and handsome, graceful and vigorous, has been not handsome, and although the mouth is full of some provocative nonsense, but the voice is increasingly mature, with a male unique magnetic force. Let a person feel very comfortable, let alone so close. Chang Ruiting occasionally back to the school, will also be this little brother advantage, but only between the body saw the intimate touch, and be so tightly held. But it is still the first time. Her body is sensitive parts, although just when the people will fly to her care. She had consciousness, but at this time is still some out of control. Ah, brother, you gently. Chang Ruiting was distracted for a moment, and the flying sword immediately shook up, just like riding a fiery horse. It's been a long time since I've seen you, but this time we were asked to stay a little longer, Flying Chern said, while the other party has no resistance. Greedy will each other in the arms. The face is more proud. In a blink of an eye, the scenery like a fleeting, green, red, blue came into view, the sky spun. Chang Ruiting imitation with drunk wine, drunk during, no longer see what, who, brother, sword. Chang Ruiting holding this little brother, hand panic pull a few times, in almost fast and close contact with the ground before, let the pink sword flew straight into the sky. Thrilling situation let her began to have fear. But the heart is happy and excited interwoven, the kind of stimulation she almost want to continue. Sister, wake up, don't speed up, all see Sister Lin. They, Flying Chern nature is not the color heart blindfold people. His 2 years of vision is enhanced, far from seeing 3 points closer and closer. No is Chagruting excitement between not control the speed, suddenly quickly fly to the 3 elder sisters' boundaries. He has not reached the point of color heart to the sky. In order to wake up Chagruting, see Fei Chern remind, Chagruting found himself inadvertently, the sword moved quickly to close the distance with you sisters, the heart suddenly some inexplicable lost, blushing dull should sound. Oh, sighing seer gate now only he and Roy poem 2 people have Kainkan bag. Others are carrying a small backpack, so Flying Chern will be grinning into each other's back wrap in the belly. This is Far Cry. Stop 3 sisters, 3 people slow down, see 2 people follow up are smiling, as if through what, and see Chang Ruiting, breathing a little heavier, pink face, suddenly are looking at each other and smiling. Little master brother, you have bullied your elder sister again, this cannot be done, go back and ask master to teach you a good lesson. Lin Ruiyu saw Flying Chern at a glance, but in the face of Chagruting quipped, she knows her sister must be bullied, otherwise the face will not be so delicate and charming, although her 2 years are deliberately away from this little brother, but still can not escape the lesson of needing Jade Rabbit. Several times down with Chang Ruiting 2 people are used to it. In private 2 people so joke with each other, what is this, my brother, I dare not bully my sister, I am good, otherwise how could I catch up with you so quickly. Standing on the flying sword, one hand holding Chang Ruiting, one hand their straight swing, Chagruting barband was prank pulled off, where dare to speak, at this time the weather is relatively hot, where Taoist robes some thin and cotton, for is breathable, this if a talk, surely will be friction unceasingly, people dream, is to lower the head dare not make a sound. The three men listened to Fei Chen's seriousness, looked at the two suspiciously, could not help laughing, and turned their heads to the Xiankao town. Below, Yun Fei Chen a moment of pride, holding Chang writing water snake general waist, Chang writing dare not speak, but the face has been flushed to the neck, before the aftertaste ambiguous, not shy